Hey all, Kurt Saucer here from TGT. We're at Fan Expo Canada 2010. We're here at the Rise Comics booth with some amazing, talented, creative people, obviously. And we're here with Dave. How you doing today, Dave?
Good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. You know, from these talented people that I spoke with James and with Mike, they said you are the artist behind this amazingly awesome first graphic novel you guys have here at Rise Comics. Tell us a bit about it.
That's correct, and first of all, I'd like to say thank you. Yeah, pretty much these guys, they came up with the idea, and they told me about the idea, a long time ago, and I was always interested in comics for as long as I can remember. So I thought to myself, these guys got an idea, I like to draw, why don't we come together and make this happen? So it was originally a joke that became a school project that turned into Fan Expo. So we didn't we were like, oh, let's do a 100-page comic, blah blah blah, not realizing, we got one artist and two writers. Like, our team's pretty small, right? We've never done this before. So we actually started September 2009. It took us 10 months. We actually ended up getting our book to 112 pages, and we're all very proud of it, but at the same time, it was very intense. I stayed in on very nice days when I could have been swimming or going out, and I was in my room drawing, but you know what? In the end, I would do it again. It paid off, and I'm really happy.
Well, this type of book, and we'll definitely talk with James and Mike about this, because, it's their story, they get to tell it, you get to draw it. I mean, what's a better collaboration than that, truly? But talk about some of your art style here, because I love it. It's dark, you have a great feel to it, you got the facial features, which is really usually hard to pull off in superheroes, being masked and all that. But tell us a little bit about your influences.
Mostly in the past, recently, I've been very much inspired by Jim Lee. I know a lot of people are. He's a fantastic artist, and if you talk to a lot of people, they love his Batman, Hush and everything. So I must say my number one inspiration is Jim Lee. I've always, I don't know, I've always been into Batman specifically, so that's why there's the dark tones in the comic, and even the characters, he's a little bit of a joke of all comics in general, but we poke fun specifically at Batman a lot because we are Batman fans. So yeah, my art style, it's always been this way, but it has evolved throughout the book. You can even see that it kind of, not changes, but it becomes progresses. It becomes what I wanted it to be. So yeah, we got our bright heroes in this dark city, which is Rotten City for us. And yeah, honestly, I worked digitally for most of it. I started out pencil and paper, and then was scanning it in, and then eventually upgraded to a tablet, which made things a lot easier. And it gave us this clean cut, vibrant look that we were able to get. And pretty much that's it. I've been working on facial features and bodies and all that ever since high school, and I hope it paid off. So you said it did, so thank you.
Well, the one thing I find interesting is, we talk to a lot of artists, a lot of creative talent, some amazing people as well. But what do you find the hardest from your progression from the beginning to your end product? What was the hardest thing for you to really wrap your mind around in terms of body structure or poses or action?
The hardest thing for me, if you look through the action sequences, they start off, there's one action sequence in the first chapter, which, now that I look at it, when I first did it, I was like, oh my goodness, this action sequence is so cool. But now I look at it and I think to myself, it's not as dynamic as I would like to have made it. So when you flip through the book, you can see that the action sequences become more, in your face. We got people being thrown around, and they're coming towards you and away from you, so
they become more cinematic.
Yeah, exactly, because I'm a big movie fan of all kinds of movies, but especially superhero movies. And so when I design my panels and my images, I think of them as like a scene in a movie. For example, there's one scene in our book where there is a panel which it's the exact same panel, except in one panel the foreground is blurred, and then in the next panel right after it the background is blurred, and it's to show like a camera focus almost. And I've done that throughout the book, and I find that it helps me come up with the composition of the, you know, where the characters are going to be, where the panels are going to be. We tried to break out of some panels as well. Like there's one where we have Van, our hero, holding up Smoker, who's the villain, and he's holding him up against another panel, and the other panel is actually cracking, but there's an image in the panel as well. So we tried to kind of, you know, keep it, you know, regular. We wanted to make it a regular comic, but break some conventions as well. So I think in the end, I'm very happy with how we did it. It was tough to come up with some different ideas, but I'm proud to say that we did it, and I'm happy with it.
You know, Fan Expo is a huge convention. It's probably the biggest one in downtown Toronto. You know, there's going to be 60,000 fans easily here on this Saturday. But when this closes up, when you head back home and you finally get outside from your whole Batcave artist studio there, you know, what are you personally going to take away from this experience?
I will be starting school again. I'm going to my final year. So after this, I don't know what to take from it. I'm kind of overwhelmed. Like I've been to Fan Expo before. It has never been this crazy. So it's awesome.
Never on this side of the table.
Yeah, this is the first time we've been here, right? So we're usually strolling around, looking at all the art, and like, oh, this is cool. Now we're here and like showing our art. So it's awesome. I don't know. It's a life experience. You know what I mean? It's something I've always wanted to do. Like this is kind of like a stepping stone.
It's drawn for you.
Good old announcements.
So you're finding your school on this side of the table.
Yeah. So yeah, like things. I've lost my train of thought thanks to that announcement, but yeah, so I'm going to be going back to school. I'm going to probably take a little bit of time off and, you know, focus on school to my last year. I want to get school out of the way and then really focus on what we've done here. Like I said, I would do it again, so the experience has been great. People here are friendly, everyone's awesome, coming and checking it out. You know, it feels really good to see people that are interested in a new character. So definitely a wild experience. I'm going to try and continue for sure.
Well, hey, I want to thank you so much for this interview. It's been a real pleasure. We're going to keep going down Rise Comics booth here and talk with them, but thanks a lot. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.